It's so much easier when you make a lot of money from your event. When you make an offer, when you sell something inside your event, and no, I don't mean a pitch fest where you invite all these guest speakers and they each make an offer. I mean, you do an event and make an offer, ideally for something high ticket. Make some money because it's going to feel so much lighter when you're walking away from that event with a fuller checkbook. And it's going to give you so much more joy and encouragement to go do it again. How are entrepreneurs like us daring bravely to build a stage, ditch the sweatpants, and step up to the mic? How do we create our own transformative events so we can get our message out into the world in a bigger way? It's not only profitable, but it's actually something we can be proud of. That's the question. And the answers are inside this podcast. My name is Sarah Pfeiffer. Welcome to Green Room Central. Adding events to your business doesn't have to be overwhelming, nor does it have to be stressful. In fact, I am going to share 3 strategies with you right now for hosting events the easiest way possible. How does that sound? Pretty good, right? Now, I might be tricking you just a bit because are events easy? Heck no. But there are some things that you can do to make it just a little bit easier on yourself and your team and your community, in fact. So let's get into it. Recently, I did a juice fast. I did a whole podcast about it. I think it's episode 73. You can go back and listen to all of my learnings, but one of them relates to the topic we're talking about today, the easy way. And that is, it would have been so much easier if I had just purchased all of the juice that I needed for my juice fast and just opened up the fridge each day, pulled one out. And yet I did it the hard way, which is buy a juicer, figure out a menu, go to the store, buy the produce, bring it home, wash it, cut it all up, stick it through the juicer, package the juice up, put it in the fridge, wash the juicer. I mean, we're talking hours, like 2 to 3 hours to do a day and a half, 2 days worth of juice. It was so much time and energy, and it could have been done with a phone call or a few clicks online, right? And so let's talk about what are ways that you can make events easier, because you already know they're the best way to create transformations in your prospects and in your clients. So you're already sold on the power of events. You already know they're extremely lucrative. But I think by you clicking on this episode and deciding to hang out with me right now, it tells me that you do have a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of a wall up on adding them into your business, or perhaps even scaling them beyond the point that you're at right now, because you already know that it took every person on your team and everything that they had to put on your last event, and you don't think that you can go any bigger without help. Or maybe you're just getting started with events and you've never done them before, and you've heard stories from the trenches and you're thinking, I just don't know if I have what it takes. So easy button, please. And I'm here with that easy button. 3 strategies coming your way. First, buy your way to easy. It's my juicing story. And if money is an object, then what I would recommend is that you make a couple strategic hires. So you invest in an event planner and an executive producer. And you could use the event planner to help you find the executive producer, or you can use an executive producer to help you find the event planner. And depending on the size of your event, you may not need an executive producer. But I think having those two roles in place can help alleviate a lot of pressure. But that doesn't come without responsibility on your shoulders. And what I would say is take a course like mine, take Live Event Academy, go through it, understand what you've got in front of you. Remember, confidence and competence are an infinity loop, and understand so that you can delegate and hire with a sense of ownership and understanding in the process. I always think when we know what's happening, we can make so much more informed decisions. Would you agree? Yeah? So buy your way to easy. When you invest in really talented event planners who are seasoned and really talented, seasoned executive producers, you are able to tap into their network, and they've created Rolodexes of, for an old school term there, Rolodexes of vendor partners that they trust. And so it helps open doors faster and easier for you. But you will have to make that initial hire. And yes, that is something you can outsource to an assistant. I think anytime we're hiring, it's important to paint a very clear picture of what the win looks like and what our vision is. I just got done reading Who Not How by Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy. Highly recommend it. And they talk about Dan Sullivan's one pager that he outlines anytime he's going to source a who to help with a project. And one of those key areas was, what does success look like? And then I would follow that up with the paint it, like what Brene Brown says in Atlas of the Heart, just like paint a super clear picture of what you want in that role and in the outcome of the thing that they'll be doing for you. And in this case, planning your event. And you should be able to hand that off to a competent assistant of yours to go help put out the job rec and weed through the applicants and get you a few to do some final interviews. So that's buying your way to easy. Another piece of buying your way to easy is it's always easier to host an event at a venue that is set up to be an event venue. So I know a little ways back, I did an episode, I don't know the number, on 40 unique venues to host your event. I wouldn't pick a unique venue where you have to kind of build everything yourself. I would pick something like a hotel where they're just set up to do this all day, every day. They've got all the services and vendor recommendations that you need in order to support your event. It's a much easier turnkey, if you will. Like the difference between buying a house that needs remodeling or buying one that's ready to move in. So think about that when you're talking about buying your way to easy. Second way of doing things easier is doing it virtually. And if that already caused you some chest tightening, then just ignore what I just said. If you're overdoing things virtually, then don't do it virtually. But know that the lift is so much easier virtually. There's a lot less pressure on you and your team when you're not managing the movement and personal needs of a group of people. It's the facts. Is it cheaper? Not necessarily, but is it easier? Yes. Yes, the lift is lighter. It's not to say you still don't have 1,000,001 details to attend to, but it's easier by far. Third thing to talk about is make a lot of money. It's so much easier when you make a lot of money from your event. When you make an offer, when you sell something inside your event, and no, I don't mean a pitch fest where you invite all these guest speakers and they each make an offer. I mean, you do an event and make an offer, ideally for something high ticket. Make some money because it's going to feel so much lighter when you're walking away from that event with a fuller checkbook. And it's going to give you so much more joy and encouragement to go do it again. So give yourself the opportunity to make some money on the event so that you feel good about the energy and time and financial investment, right? Now, I know I said I had 3 strategies for you, but I do have a bonus 4th, and it is give yourself time. I had a prospect call me last week, and we had the best conversation brainstorming about her upcoming event. However, the event was planned for a half day, and it was already on the books. And the more we talked, the more she could see that if she extended the length of the event to, a full day is a little easier than a half, and a few days to like 3.5 days is even easier than hosting a short half or full day event. And I say that because the amount of time that you have with guests expands, and so you don't feel so much pressure to get every second right like you would if you hosted a half day. And so I think she could see, after we talked a lot about how she could use that time effectively and how she could make it an amazing experience for her guests and in fact feel less overwhelmed by extending it. And so I would say give yourself the gift of time and try not to pack everything into a super short event, and give yourself permission to go longer. Guests will give you that time. You just need to make the case up front with your amazing sales page and marketing efforts that the time will be well spent. So that's that. That is 4 strategies that are going to help you host an event an easier way. And if you need some more ideas or you have a specific situation that you need help brainstorming on, then drop into my DMs over on Instagram and I will help you out. That is my favorite thing to do. Make it an outstanding rest of the week. Take care. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you for listening to the Green Room Central podcast. If you loved this episode, then please take a screenshot on your phone and post it to Instagram, and be sure to tag @SarahPfeiffer and let me know why you liked it and what you'd like to hear or who you'd like to hear from in the future. That'll help me know what to create for you. Also, if it's on your heart to host your first or next event this year and you need a jump start, let's connect for a strategy session. Just go to greenroomcentral.com. In a 2-hour intensive private session, I can help you pivot, scale, or start your event vision from scratch. Together, we will build an actionable plan so that you feel confident and clear on your next steps. Go to greenroomcentral.com right now to sign up. I appreciate your commitment to leveling up and learning the mindset and strategy of live events. Keep going. Keep learning. If you want more, head over to greenroomcentral.com for show notes and all the links from today's episode.